This is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy EARTHRISE Voyager class Thrust. Now you're probably thinking, hey, haven't you already done this review before? Yes, in fact, I have this exact same figure, but this is the first time I'm reviewing this figure in comparison with the repacked figures. Because if you remember, I reviewed this figure and I showed off the Amazon exclusive 2-pack of Dirge and Ramjet with him. Now this is the first time we are doing a review of this figure vis-a-vis and in comparison with the repacked versions of those figures. We have the Legacy Evolution Voyager class Dirge, which is sort of a repaint, and the Legacy United G1 Universe Ramjet, which is a straight up repack of the Amazon exclusive figure. This is a reissue actually by Hasbro through Target, but since we don't have Target here in Asia, we have to go through hobby shops to get this one. And in particular, I picked up this figure from Hobby Corner and they shipped it beautifully. Not a ding or dent in the packaging. Well, a little bit, but not as much as had I bought this one from, let's say, Amazon. They packed it really nicely. Kudos to the shipping team at Hobby Corner. Let's get this guy out of packaging and show him off with the rest of his buddies. And here is Thrust out of the box, and to this day, the figure still looks great. Oh man, the colors, plastic, there's some cheap bits like the arms, but overall very, very premium. Not a lot of mold degradation, except maybe for a few bits here and there, like the wings, but most of the joints, very, very solid, very, very tight. I love the paint apps. It still evokes all that G1 goodness, probably the best one out of all of the Coneheads. Let's take a closer look at the details of this EARTHRISE Thrust. Head to toe, the figure still stands at about 16.5 centimeters tall, or about 6.5 inches tall. And as promised, here he is with the Legacy version of the other Coneheads. We've got Legacy Evolution Dirge and Legacy United Ramjet. And they do share the same body, at least in structure, and the same type of plastic. So premium plastic all over, except for some of the black pieces, which are kind of cheap-ish, but not too bad. Almost every bit is still very premium. Now, one thing I really like about these Coneheads, more than the Seekers, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, those three are just direct repaints of each other. These guys, albeit repaints of the torso, the arms, and even the weapons, and much of the jet, they do differ in the wings and the jet alt mode types, which I really like. You don't feel like you're getting three repainted clones, much like Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. These three feel like three different Decepticons because of the different wing structure and all that, even their personalities. So I actually prefer collecting the Coneheads more than the Seekers, albeit the Seekers are more popular. Let's talk about the figure in general. Let's talk about mold degradation. That's probably the thing that you're probably most interested in if you haven't picked up the original and you're trying to get this one. I would say everything is very tight. The joints, arms, legs, very tight. Even that head joint, very, very tight. Ball jointed there, hinges here, swivels, hinges, hips, thigh swivel. You know, even the ankle rockers, very, very tight. One thing that I think suffers mold degradation are the wings. And it's because of the way they're assembled. They're on mushroom pegs, so you'd expect that over time. The hinges to fold them in and out, they seem to be pretty tight, but it's these swivels, the transformation swivels, when you move them down, that's what's kind of loose, at least on my copy. As far as paint apps goes, I mean, unbelievable. You still get the G1 paint apps, the gunmetal gray bits here and there. I love the paint on that head sculpt. That is G1 Thrust. And the colors are looking very bright here, but they're actually a deep type of crimson. It's just my lights are, if I can just turn off the lights, here you go. It's still pretty bright, but it's a deep kind of red and very reminiscent of how he looked like in the G1 cartoon. So let's get him into his vertical takeoff and landing jet. Not entirely sure what kind of jet this was. I thought it was a very fictitious jet. Okay, so it's still the same. You've probably seen the transformation of this mold like 25 different times already, but for the sake of those who haven't seen it, watch on. Okay, if not, just fast forward 10 minutes into the video. Let's start with the arms. These are probably the most difficult part of the transformation. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to these molds, you're new to collecting Transformers, you're gonna wanna watch out for these arms. If you have this mold like Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, or any of the Coneheads, these are the bits that are very difficult to transform. Okay, so you just go ahead and plug, just collapse the whole forearm onto the bicep and fold up that fist. Okay, go ahead and pop the backpack out. These are very annoying. I hope when we get the new mold, the Seeker mold for Pseudo Series, they get rid of this or to try to improve it. I hate these because these, you need to expand them just to fold them out to unpeg them, and it sucks. I hate that. Okay, go ahead and cover his head with the nose cone. Back in G1, you know, this nose cone was the actual head. That's why that's the tip of the jet. But for Generations, it's a pseudo Conehead tip. Okay, go ahead and rotate. Oh, this one, a little bit loose on my copy. Don't know how to tighten that though. Okay, so go ahead and fold that and form the front part of the jet. You want to go ahead and fold the arms inside. You want to go ahead and fold back that, yeah, these pegs right here. And it takes time. Yeah. Oh, I hate that. That's probably the worst part of the transformation, more than the arms for me. I really don't like that. I hope they can change that. Okay, go ahead and do the legs. Let's fold them out. Go ahead and collapse. You're gonna collapse the knees onto the lower legs. Go ahead and combine. Go ahead and tab the legs together. Go ahead and tab rear legs onto his hips or rear of the hips. And then these, they're just gonna stay right there. Okay, the toes and heel spurs are gonna fold down. They're gonna form this sort of thrusters. Okay, and then finally, the wing bits, which I said, very loose. Go ahead and fold them down. Fold them down and just line them up so they tab. He's probably the easiest one to transform because the entire wing fits nicely into this area. There's no tight clearances, unlike the Starscream mold or the, you know, both Dirge and Ramjet. Although they're much easier than the Starscream mold, but I think this one's the easiest to transform because of the way the wings have been structured. Okay, so you know, instructions, and classically you put the guns here underneath the turbines, which is ridiculous. I know functionally it doesn't work, but aesthetically it looks great. But so that he'll have more purpose, my suggestion is you don't follow the instruction. You just put either you put the guns here. I think that's better on the shoulders, or the forearms. Yeah, I think that's best. Yeah, it looks better that way, and that way the vertical takeoff and landing turbines, much like Windblade, will actually work without being impeded by the guns. He still looks amazing. I mean, I love Ramjet, I love Dirge, but Thrust, he's looking to be my favorite right now. Brings back a lot of G1 memories. Decepticons attack! And for some comparisons in jet mode, here are all three Conehead Seekers. They look amazing. I'm really, really so impressed to this day at how awesome these War for Cybertron trilogy Earthrise Coneheads still look. I mean, it's all going to change once we get Conehead repaints of that new Studio Series 86 Seeker mode, but for now, this is what we got, and they look amazing. If you're a big fan of these G1 Conehead Seekers, man, these are amazing pieces to have and display on your shelf. And so some final thoughts on this Earthrise Thrust and these legacy Conehead Seekers in general. I think they're still great. This Thrust in particular has got to be my favorite than Ramjet. Ramjet and Thrust, I really like him. Take nothing away from Dirge, I still like this guy, but out of the three, the Thrust color-wise is just popping for me. I mean, I love him, but design-wise of the jet, that Ramjet is so cool. And robot mode, I think it's got to go with Dirge. But overall, Thrust has got to be the best Conehead right now. For the mainline generations, these are our Coneheads and they look great. Each of them got, I think, 10 out of 10. Right now, I can still easily say that each of these figures deserve a 10 out of 10. In light of the announcement of Hasbro that they will be releasing next year a new Seeker mold for the Studio Series 86, and it's going to be more cartoon accurate. It looks better in my opinion. Some people don't like it. I like it. I actually love it. Thundercracker is going to be the first figure. It is inevitable that we are going to get these Coneheads repainted from that mold. What do you do with your existing ones? They're great to keep. I mean, as they are, they're amazing figures. They're a lot of fun to transform. They're great jet modes, alt modes. They still will do their job. They'll give you the satisfaction. The nostalgia factor is still there. Everything about them, the engineering is just amazing. They're well done. And I wouldn't be surprised if Takara Tomy has already plans of having these three released as a set in their Dramatic Capture series. Having said all of that, do you keep them? Or if you haven't gotten these Coneheads, do you still look and hunt them down? My suggestion is if you're a big fan of the Coneheads, go ahead and keep them. I mean, if you love these Generations figures and you like these three characters, just keep them. You're not going to lose anything by keeping them. They're great figures. They certainly cost a lot right now at the moment. If you haven't picked up these figures at all and you really want your Coneheads, my suggestion is just you wait for the new Studio Series 86 new Seeker mold to be repainted into these guys, which will probably take a couple years, 2 or 3 years, maybe 5 years max. If you can't wait that long and you really need Coneheads for the Generations line on your shelf, sure, by all means, go pick these guys up, but do not pay more than retail price for them. Let me know what you guys think of this Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy EARTHRISE Voyager class thrust, as well as the two other Coneheads from the Legacy line, Legacy Evolution Dirge and Legacy United Ramjet. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel and please subscribe. Thanks for watching.